But who better than me?
Welcome back to Base Talks. Dev Sahni Part 2. Big up to Dev, good guy. I actually enjoy talking to Dev. It's a very flowing situation, good conversation. And on this one, you'll see we kind of go a bit all over the place at times. Like, he has to reel me back in from points, which is that's not something you normally can get away with, but he kept me honest, and vice versa. I've done the same. I'm leaving everything in, so this is the entire interview, all 16 minutes of it. So like, subscribe and share. Hope you enjoy it, and yeah, let's get into it. This is Base the Kid, the hardcore casual, and I'm delighted to be joined by Queensbury's resident jack of all trades, Dev Sahni. Like, little bit of everything. Actually, you might be a good master ceremonies. I'm gonna give you that one. But how are things?
I'm all right. When you said jack of all trades, I thought you were going to stop it like jackass or something like that. Queensbury's resident jackass. Things are all right, mate. Just did that presser there, Fury and Ngannou. Probably the biggest one I've done. I'm quite hyped on a personal level. I put a lot of work and prep into it. I'm in a good spot. Looking forward to having a beer or something and chilling out a bit. But happy with how today went.
No, you know what? I've got to give you your credit. Like, you was very composed. You asked all the right questions, and you evoked just the right amount of needle to make this interesting for the public. So, if we look at sort of your journey in terms of just doing that, how did it feel in terms, like you said, you've done your preparation, how did it feel to actually now kind of be on that big stage, on such a big stage compared to the others that you've done previously?
It felt great. Like, I don't even really stop and think about it, but if I do, it's like, yeah, very happy.
So look, you are Queensbury host, you are an interviewer for the Queensbury YouTube channel, you are a ring announcer, and I'm sure there's other things, plus you are, I guess, an independent troll on X. Do you get multiple paychecks, or do you just get one paycheck for everything?
Who's asking? What are you, bloody tax man? Who's bloody asking?
I just want to know if you, for all the jobs you're doing, you're getting paid what?
I get looked after. I'm Frank's the man. You know what they say? They say earn with Hearn. I say bank with Frank.
I hear that. So, was you surprised at this press conference by almost the level of engagement that Francis Ngannou brought to it, and like sort of the trash talk and the back and forth? Was it because I wasn't expecting him to go as deep into it as he did? Was you surprised by that?
Yeah, do you know what it is? It's Tyson Fury just brings everyone else's levels up. That's what it is. Francis Ngannou, I ain't just going to sit there and be like, yeah, no, I was really good. Yeah, I really like Mike Tyson. Bit boring, isn't it? So Tyson got more out of him, and I enjoyed that. It did surprise me. But then you think, if Tyson's roaming the stage and demanding to see parts of Ngannou's body, for example, it's going to evoke a reaction from Francis Ngannou. So it was good fun. I enjoyed it.
So now when we look at the event, a lot of people, myself included, I'm not absolved from this, have said, this wasn't what we wanted to see Tyson Fury doing. That being said, your job, Frank's job, Bob's job, everyone's job is to sell the illusion or the reality that Francis Ngannou can potentially land that punch, and if he does, what happens? Do you think there is a pressure on Tyson Fury more so than he's had before, just for the basis of he's fighting a guy that's, number one, never had a boxing match professionally, supposed to be a rank amateur, but if he can't win this fight dominantly without taking any issues, like, would you say that actually damages his reputation, his legacy a little bit?
Yeah, that's it. I've described this as the riskiest fight of Tyson Fury's whole career. You can drop rounds to fighters like Derek Chisora. That's okay. Chisora's been around for years. He challenged Vitaly Klitschko, gave him a great fight. He was coming off a win. You can drop rounds against that guy. I don't think Tyson did anyway, but it's okay. If you look bad, or if you drop rounds against Ngannou, imagine he gets outboxed, like unfathomable. Imagine Francis Ngannou's out there slipping the jab and doing all sorts of stuff. What will people say about Tyson Fury? They'll be saying he's done. He's over the hill. He's struggling with Ngannou. What if Ngannou drops him? Could happen. Hits hard enough. Doesn't even need to land flush. Could land a glancing blow. Tyson goes down. People who don't hit as hard as Francis Ngannou have dropped Tyson Fury. So the level of jeopardy is huge for Tyson. nothing at risk at all, really, for Francis Ngannou. He's won the lottery. He's living his dream. And now he gets the chance, with one punch potentially, to walk away as the lineal heavyweight champion of boxing and MMA at the same time. All to gain, nothing to lose. It's mad when you think about it.
So ultimately, would you then say that this is actually outside of the big paycheck that Tyson Fury is about to get? This is almost like a no-win situation, because if you win in dominant fashion, well, people expected that, and then it's a farce of an event. And if you struggle, then you're not as good as you told everyone you was. What do you reckon?
Look, he can't afford to struggle. I'll tell you where it is a win, though. Obviously, you've mentioned there as well about the bag, essentially, but also it's the spotlight. And he'll grow his profile from this fight, there's no doubt about it. The fact that it's opening up Riyadh season, that's a really, really big deal. Really big deal. And boxing to have that spot, Tyson Fury to have that spot, have his ring walk, come out probably with all the crown on and all of that sort of stuff, is a great place to be. So he'll probably get some more Instagram followers, probably nail another Netflix documentary. All of these things send your stock up. But yeah, the risk is you look bad, you're finished.
So do you know when we're going to hear anything about the undercard about this event?
Hopefully soon. I thought we might hear something today, but yeah, not my department, so I'm sure it'll be announced soon enough.
Well, there was rumours of obviously Fabio Wardley versus David Adelier on this card. As we will no doubt know by now, there was a ruckus that broke out earlier. Punches were thrown and the cut was opened up on the side of Fabio Wardley's face. I'm not sure how deep the cut is, but I do actually have footage of it. I was interviewing Raven Chapman at the time when it kicked off.
So what happened? I haven't seen much. From your perspective, what happened?
So actually, funny enough, I've actually seen a video of what took place. So Fabio Wardley was doing an interview with someone, and so was David, and they kind of got quite close to each other. And then I think David's turned and said something to Fabio. Fabio's obviously turned, and they're both kind of looking at each other. David's pushed him, and so Fabio's thrown off his hat, pulled off his glasses, and then he's sort of gone. I think someone's gone to grab him. They've gone through the barricade, and then I think a punch or a fist flew somewhere from Fabio to Fabio, sorry. Obviously he's tried to get over, he's tripped over the cable, feet's trampling, then he's eventually been brought back by the security. I mean, I've got that video, I've got my video, I've got footage of it myself, right. So you know, but yeah, it was.
What I'd say is clearly you've got two unbeaten British heavyweights who can both hit very hard, who don't like each other. So yeah, it sounds like you can't really have them around each other much. Like when they do fight, eventually, which I'm sure is inevitable, it's going to be huge. I mean, yeah, hopefully I'll get to host the presser. I can't wait for that.
Well, you might be in danger. You might not want that job.
Exactly that. We'll have to double up on security.
Okay, so if we take it away from sort of today briefly, a couple of weeks back, we had Alexander Usyk versus Daniel Dubois. So the question on everyone's mind, did Daniel Dubois quit?
No, come on, and that's not the question on everyone's mind. The question
we can get to the second question in a moment, but that's the one that a lot of people have felt was potentially left off of the docket when we speak about it. So, in your opinion, you said no. Just give us a break.
I think he was up on his feet by the count of 10. I think his attention was here and there. He's looking for the corner. He's a young man who needs a bit of guidance sometimes in situations like that, and I think he just kind of mistimed the count and just got up a tad too late in the referee's eyes. But I've seen referees allow people to go on at that point as well. So I don't know. I don't think he quit, no.
Do you think that he was hard done by that particular part of the situation? Do you think a different ref would have given him opportunity? Was it home cooking, in your opinion, that part?
I don't want to say home cooking, but look, go back to Fury Wilder 1, right? Tyson Fury on the floor, referee Jack Reese counting all over him. Some referees may have just waved it off, but Jack Reese gave him every opportunity to get up to his feet. The Daniel Dubois count, I don't know, I'll have to line them up side by side to try and figure it out, but what I'll just say is other referees probably would have let him carry on. All right, you're all right, check the gloves, yeah, I'm good, carry on, go and knock Usyk out. Come on.
Okay, so now, speaking of knocking Usyk out, let's get to the fifth round, where we've had the controversy between the borderline shot, the great body shot, the low blow. Now, I think I already know what your opinion is, but in in the most impartial way possible, how did you see it realistically? And, do you believe that it was fair and that at least a count at best, or at worst, I say, should have been administered?
Listen, you know what my opinion is going to be. I don't believe it was a low blow. What I will say is that the people that you should be listening to, opinion-wise, are the neutrals. Eddie Hearn's going to say it was low. Frank Warren's going to say it wasn't low. I'm going to say it wasn't low. Tony Bellew is going to say, oh, it's definitely low. Look for the neutrals. Look for Jack Rees, the referee, who has experience, who understands this, who's not a Frank Warren or Matchroom fanboy. He says it wasn't low. It was a legal blow. Look at referee Joe Cortez. Is he a Matchroom fanboy? Is he a Queensbury fanboy? He's just a referee in America. Very experienced. He said it wasn't low. Those are the opinions you want to listen to. And also, just watch the footage. Don't look for little photos where someone stopped it 2 frames prior, where the punch is still making its way to a destination. These guys are very clever. That, I think, was that Usyk's coach that put that out? Or someone in the team put that out?
Rossamba.
Right, so that sort of thing's going on. Usyk's pulling down his shorts after the fight as well, trying to be clever. I don't know. I would just say, look at the neutrals and watch the actual videos.
Quick question for you regarding that. Do you think that he wears his shorts high? Personally, I don't. But I just want to know if you do personally, and do you think that's one of the reasons why Daniel's shot, in fact, was legitimate?
Yeah, look, I think a lot of fighters wear their shorts high. Daniel was wearing his shorts high as well. But the referee at the start should be establishing where the belt line is and saying, okay, you're allowed to punch here, you're allowed to punch here, and that didn't happen, and it's not great. And look, he plays up when he has a body shot. Here's the other thing, right? He's been saying that if he'd been counted, he'd have jumped up to his feet. Now, let me punch you in the bollocks, right? You don't actually have to, right? Do you think you'd be able to just jump up to your feet? I don't think you would. I think you'd be rolling about. I think you might even cry. I don't know, Base the Kid. Would you cry if I punched you in the bollocks?
To be honest, I'm not the crying type, but I definitely would be in distress.
You'd feel it, right? I don't think that someone who's been punched and hurt down there can jump up to their feet. From a body shot, I don't know. Maybe. I just think he landed a legal blow.
So, speaking of when you said the referee should have established the belt line, I actually agree with you on that. However, is that really what we measure it on, considering the fact that in the Jared Anderson fight later on in the night, the belt line and the legal limit was established by the referee, and yet he let every single punch go under there unchallenged. So even though he's established what is legal and illegal, he hasn't stuck to that. So is it just a case of, okay, because we're so conditioned to see shots go into that area, we just accept it to be okay, when the actual fact is, well, if you're hitting the protector more time, unless the referee has told you can, it is an illegal shot?
Listen, it's not even about like the placement of the protector, the placement of the band. The actual rule is it's an imaginary line you've got to draw between the hip bones, which is like a few inches below the belly button, by the way. That's what the line is. You know, people wear their shorts up to here, like the belt line and stuff like that. It's always helpful if the referee establishes where you can and can't punch. This referee didn't do it. But the official rules, I mean, I'm not making this up. Go on the British Boxing Board of Control's website. You can see it there. Go on the ABC rules in America. You can see it there as well. It's an imaginary line between the hip bones. If you go below that, you're not allowed. Go above it, you're all good. Daniel Dubois was above it. He knocked out Alexander Usyk.
I love it. Okay, briefly, just away from that. So the next card is obviously Zhang Joyce 2. What's your opinion on that one? How do you think that one goes? Obviously, both are contracted to Queensbury. So how do you see it going in terms of, is it going to be repeat? Is it going to be revenge? What adjustments have to be made?
Look, adjustments have to be made. And one of the things, I was just catching up with Joe Joyce back there, actually. And I said, you look a bit thicker, certainly than last time. Obviously, he was training for ages for the last fight. Found himself in tremendous shape, but smaller than usual. I was like, you look a bit thicker. He was like, yeah. Everyone was like, oh, it's the weight. So, which is quite funny. But he knows he needs to be bigger. That's one of the things. He certainly needs to move his head. But he knows this, and he's serious, and he knows really his career at the top table is on the line. Will it be repeat? Will it be revenge? My answer to that is tune in September 23rd and you'll find out.
Okay, one more about that card actually. So you've got Lyndon Arthur facing Ricky Summers. You've got Anthony Yard. facing Ricky Summers for that bout. Now, it's well established. I think a lot of people believe that Anthony is he is world level. He's a world class fighter. Ricky Summers is a English champion. So if you look at the sort of the steps, that's about 4 steps below where he should be competing by most people's estimation. Now, we're not going to talk about that. It's a comeback fight from obviously a knockout defeat. So we say fine. We push that to the side. What do you feel is next after this if he gets through it unscathed and in good fashion?
Look, I don't know. There's a lot of movement in the light heavyweight division. A lot of fights getting made. I love that Buatsi against Aziz has been made. I can't wait for that fight. Really looking forward to it. And I'm sure that Anthony Yarde will be keeping an eye on what happens in that fight as well. It's a good fight to take. Beterbiev's got all of his belts sort of tied up with Callum Smith at the moment. I don't know what Bivell's up to, but let Anthony Yarde have this fight to just as a welcome back, as a thank you for trying so hard to knock out Artur Beterbiev, who's got a 100% knockout ratio, and he gave us a great night that night. He really gave it his all, and it felt like all of Wembley Arena were behind him, trying to channel their way to knock out this monster. But he was just too good. The geezer's unbelievable, Beterbiev. But look, what would be next for Yarde post Ricky Summers? If he comes through that, you would hope so. I don't know. It's one for Frank really, but I'd love to see him fight. Some of the other British guys that are around. Well, that's what we like, isn't it? Domestic rivalries.
Lovely. Well, look, hopefully I'll see you at the Zhang Joyce 2 press conference. But Dev, as always, thank you very much, and thanks for the time. It's been a good one, good 16 minutes. I like it.
Jeez, no worries, my friend. Cheers.
And that's another Base Talks in the book. There was a couple other people that I really wanted to speak to on the day, but unfortunately, one of them I missed just because they slipped out when I was interviewing someone else, and the other one was tired, done quite a bit of media on the day, but they did promise that I would get a chance to speak to them at the Zhang Joyce 2 press conference. So I'm looking forward to that. Like and subscribe, leave your comments below. Hope you enjoyed it, and I'll catch you on the next episode that will be recorded shortly. Peace.